Financial incompatibility is the leading cause of divorce and separation worldwide. Why is it that so many of us have bought into the lie that it is normal to be financially incompatible?
We have encountered so many couples who have come up with questions for us. Questions like, should we have a joint account? What do we do with the spouse who's a hoarder and is, has held on to the money and is refusing to let go?
Or the spouse who's a spender and just wants to splurge whenever they make the money. What do you do when the husband earns a lot less than the wife? And we're talking about African husbands, sometimes can be very threatening situation.
Yeah, that can be. And as we reflected on the questions that we were receiving from all these couples, we realized that we have been blessed, honestly, to have had mentors who are older than us, who helped us understand how to manage our money together and even how to grow our money together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's why we came up with Couples and Money. It's a 10-week online masterclass that helps you develop financial compatibility, financial oneness. It's going to teach you how to make money as a couple, but it's also going to teach you to have common values that when you make money, money does not divide you, but actually draws you closer together. And we've seen couples change. We've seen people understand how to grow resource together. We've seen couples understand how to have safe money conversations, and that's a big deal.
That's a big
We've
deal.
seen couples being able to do great things that they only dreamt about being able to do previously before that.
Yeah. So if this sounds intriguing to you in any way, then we invite you to come to this mentoring program where you will be mentored together with your spouse on how to manage your finances together. So I encourage you, sign up for Couples and Money.
See you there.
Things to do with money, I don't like to have money conversations. Things to do with money as things that give me a headache. And so we didn't used to have money conversations. It was sort of, by default, I was sort of the one who was handling money. And so with Couples and Money, we were able to now have intentional conversations, money dates that helped us to have our monies together and to have, one a pool of resources and navigate those difficult spaces as far as money is concerned. And so as a couple, where we've come from so far, resultant of this experience is we get to budget from one pool of resources. We get to track our income and our expenses on a monthly basis, which is a miracle for us. We were not doing that before. And that's part of the financial oneness that Couples and Money gets to attain for us. And so that's my journey. That's my story. And I want to invite us as well to lean in as we get to hear today, to Pastor M and Pastor Caro as they get to pour into us. I want us to lean in. There's something for everyone here today. In fact, for this mid-season retreat, for those who are participating in Couples and Money this season, there's something for you. There's something that you'll get out of this place with. So be expectant. If you have a notebook, if you have a phone somewhere, take notes. Because this information that we are about to get will transform your marriage significantly. And so I want to invite a couple that will also share their story and share with us what it means, or what this journey has meant for them as far as Couples and Money is concerned. And this couple is an amazing couple called Jimmy and Edith Gore. If you are there, just yes, I see they are coming on. Karibuni sana, Jimmy and Edith. We want to just get to know you a little better. So if you could just briefly introduce yourselves. Can we just celebrate them as they come on, as they share with us their stories? Come on, Jimmy and Edith. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So maybe just tell us a little bit about yourself, Jimmy and Edith, as we start.
Yeah, Jimmy and Edith. Jimmy, I'm Edith. We've been married for 16 years. We did, and we work as missionaries in Baringo and West Pokot. Yes.
Wow.
We've been together for 21 years now, and married for 16 of those. We have 3 kids, and yeah, we are glad to be part of this family, Couples and Money family.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jimmy and Ed. It's such an amazing profile of you guys. So you are missionaries in West Pokot.
Yes,
Yeah,
East and
that
West
has
Pokot.
to
So
take
that's
some
Baringo.
fearlessness. I assume. Uh-huh. Or East and West Pokot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Including Baringo, right?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much for being here with us today. We honor you. Thank you for your commitment in coming today. I want us to just I want to find out just a little bit about you. Maybe if you could just tell us what you are doing for Couples and Money, just a little bit about you prior to Couples and Money. If you could just let us know a little bit about you prior to Couples and Money.
So before Couples and Money, we thought we were okay. Actually, we thought we were very good. The reason we did this was because my sister, we'd been talking about how we are weak in money, but then as us, we thought we are good. We are really good. We don't need any help, but we'll do this anyway. So what we discovered is that we were getting by. We'd gotten into a schedule. We had money, responsibilities, right? He had his responsibilities, I had my responsibilities, and then we avoided anything that might arouse negative feelings. So we would not address things, we would run away from issues. Just avoid emotive conversations.
Yeah, I think a key part when it comes to the reflection is actually just the discovery that maybe for us, even with the split responsibilities, there was very little accountability and support, which is actually very key in the journey, something that we really got to learn from. Yeah, so we were keeping peace.
Not making yeah.
Okay. Oh, so that sort of now informed why you decided to do Couples and Money, yeah? Just to address some of those issues.
No, we actually did Couples and Money, just pressure, really.
Pressure.
Yeah, the pressure from my sister-in-law was too much.
It was getting worse, eh?
Yeah, she wasn't letting it go.
Yeah. So I think these are some of those things that we just discovered in the journey that very important.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we are glad that you actually went.
All right. And so maybe if you could just share with us, first of all, when did you, in fact, I've seen Pastor Emma and Pastor Caro say they are celebrating you guys because you are in their Couples and Money class. Hey. When was that? When did that happen?
Sorry?
When did that happen? Last year, yeah? Amazing. And post, if you could just give an analysis of your marriage post Couples and Money, how has it been? Has it made any difference for you guys?
Yes. It's how burdens are lifted at Calvary. Maybe I didn't have that experience, but then I had burdens lifted at this marriage. When you realize the point where you realize you really have been carrying issues, you haven't been discussing issues, and now you can actually have it's a topic. And if you've done Couples and Money, it's an easy thing, safe money conversations. But the ability to be vulnerable, the ability to give constructive feedback and not raise questions is amazing. Burdens are lifted. Yeah.
I think probably the same as your shared, just the safe money conversations. Gets better planning also on our side. And I think for me, probably the highlight is just learning to leverage on our strengths. Yeah. There are things that sometimes you look at and you feel like, there's a bit of opposition because she's different and I'm different. View money and investments, there are things differently. But also just learning that even with her, there are a lot of strengths that come with that help to make her just easier and better.
I mean, a
Okay.
good example is how I am resistant to change. I am resistant to risk. I'm risk averse,
Uh-huh.
and he has an extremely high risk appetite. And viewing each other before was his risk appetite, and his risk
Mhm.
averse was a negative perspective. But now, because especially since we work together, we've been able to just put that back together and leverage on that. That
Mhm.
we look at his risk appetite and my cautiousness comes in. And eventually, with open communication, I later realized now we have two investments that again I
Wow.
felt that we did too low. We should have done more.
Wow.
Cash flow also helped.
Cash flow helped.
Cash flow helps. So this is in a span of 1 year, and you have such an incredible story. Wow. So then you guys decided to facilitate. Is that right?
Yeah. I think for us, even the facilitation was probably as a result of wanting to grow more. I think
Yes.
something that Pastor M and Caro kept on sharing about their own experiences, the fact that you also take others through it, or you also get to think about it, and of course also cash flow. So I think for us also one of the things that it did, it gave us a tool, kind of a platform to engage. We've always been passionate about ministry to couples. Had worked with a number of couples, even the ones who quite a number of them.
Yeah.
And so this kind of gave us some conversations and a way of just helping to enrich that aspect of marriage.
Mm.
You have to have money if you're facilitating. You have to lead by example. When you're not facilitating, we only have money debts when it is urgent.
Mm.
But facilitating means we must have money dates. We must send pictures. So
Yeah.
that kind of helps a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Because now you know people are looking up to you as facilitators, so you have to up your game.
Yes.
Awesome. So it doesn't just mean that you're facilitating and you're teaching people, and so you're absolved from the process. You are also involved in the process as you continue working on your marriage as a couple.
I think we work a lot together, of course.
Uh-huh.
But I think couples and money facilitating there has an aspect of a bit more intentionality on also growth. Because here we're actually really working on ourselves. So I think that's probably a plus bit.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, amazing. We love your story. We love that you're part of our community. If ladies and gentlemen, we could just applaud Jimmy and Edith Gore for sharing their story. Come on. You can just give the virtual claps. You can give some whoop whoops. But thank you so much, Jimmy and Edith. We appreciate you. Thank you for being here with us. I see a couple of us have joined us, new faces, new people. Welcome to this community. Please let us know. In fact, let us know on chat where you are tuning from. I know there are people who come from the farthest corners of this continent, not even continent, actually across the border. There are guys here who come from, I think, from Rwanda. There are also those who come from Rongai. That's also quite far. And so for those who are tuning in from we want to see who has come in from the farthest. I see there is Kiambu. Kiambu is not so far from, at least from Nairobi. Let's see who has come from the farthest. If you could just post on chat where you are tuning in from. We want to celebrate you. Passes from LA, not the Los Angeles, but Langata. Welcome, Passes. There are other guys as well. Please tune in. Please write on chat. Kagenzas from Kibagabaga, Kigali, Rwanda. Come on, let's see who can actually top that. Roysambu Addis. Hey, there's someone from Addis. We celebrate you guys from Addis, from Rwanda. Let's see. I'm not seeing Rongai guys. Rongai guys as well. We are waiting for you. Karibuni sana. There's someone from Nanyuki. Welcome, Linda from Nanyuki. Thank you so much for joining us today. There's a little video that I want us to watch, even as we continue posting on chat. Let's watch this video as we welcome, as we continue with the program. Okay. Even as we do that, even as we find that, let me actually introduce today's topic. Our video is coming up shortly, but let me introduce today's topic. Today's topic, as you saw on your flyers, is multiplying your income streams. Multiplying your income streams. And as I said before, please take notes, because this is very personal for you. You will get out of here with something that is yours. It's not just for those who are facilitating. This is not just for your class. You're getting out of this place with content that is yours. And so please lean in, listen, pay attention. I know we are also recording, so later on we'll share the link so that you can mull over the content that we are engaging in today. But please lean in, because the content that you're going to receive is yours, and it's going to transform your life and your family. For myself and my wife, as far as this topic is concerned, we had to make a decision. It starts with that conscious decision. And I love Jimmy and Edith's story, because they also had to make a decision to live a different life as far as their financial conversations are concerned. They had to make a decision. Both of them, they said, if you caught their story, they said one of them was risk averse, one of them had a high risk appetite, and they had to make a decision. How do we invest together? How do we have conversations about finances together? And for us, we had to make that decision. Our desire was to have enough streams of income, especially passive income, to be able to focus on our family purpose without worrying about bills and everything else. Someone said the sad thing about life is for you to go through life, go the emotional life, pay your bills, and then you die. And this person said, that's not what life is about. Life is about you achieving your purpose. There is a purpose for every one of us that we were created for. And so for us, we had to make that decision to be financially free, to have passive income, so that we are able to focus on our family purpose without worrying about the bills. So after we did our premarital class, and later on Couples and Money, we started having conversations about, how do we start multiplying our streams of income? And I remember we got into farming last year. We just started. And we said, we have no experience whatsoever, but let's just get into farming. We pulled resources with a couple of friends and we got into farming. There are some crazy lessons that we learned there, but nonetheless, we made a stride, a decision to multiply our streams of income. And so this topic is very personal for me. As we continue even having conversations about income streams, it's very personal for me. And I'm leaning in. I want to get to know a little more about how do we do that, especially in a season like this, in an economic season like what we're experiencing right now globally. How do we lean in as people, especially as couples, to multiply our streams of income despite the economic season? And so without further ado, I want to welcome our speakers for the day who are going to take us through this amazing topic. And these are the lead visionaries for Couples and Money. They're the lead visionaries for Fearless Summit. They are the lead visionaries for Mavuno Church. And we are so privileged to have them share their story with us. We are so privileged to get them to share with us what their journey has been like and how we can learn from their story and also the content that they have for us today. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Pastor M and Pastor Carol Wanjau. Come on. Welcome, Pasi.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you so much. Really, really good to have you hosting us today. You're doing such a great job, and it's good to see everybody. We're grateful to have every one of you here, and to know that many of you are actually walking through this class. A big shout out to all the facilitators. Oh my goodness, you put yourself on the line. As Jimmy and Edith say, you're growing as you teach others, but you're really pouring yourself out to bless couples and to bless other couples. You're really a freedom fighter, and you're helping fight for the financial freedom and independence of many. And so we are very grateful today for each and every one of the facilitators. Can we just give a big shout out to the facilitators? It's so good, so good, and we're really grateful for you. And the facilitators, many of them have actually had us talk about multiplying income streams, and so I really believe that when it comes to income streams and talking about it, it's one of those things. And even with financial conversations, There's just something that happens when you hear the conversations over and over. Unfortunately, the kind of education system we've come from was one of knowledge. I hear it once, I take notes, and I now think I know it. But you see, knowing is not what, knowing something in your mind is not what the purpose of this is about. It's about how is it percolating into your life? How is it affecting all your decisions? And so for us, I think when we see you come into I can even see a few people who are not facilitators, but are on this call as well. I can see you, Sam Langat, and others. Yeah. And we rejoice in you guys because we know it's almost like you're coming here. It's a refresher. It's like, where am I? You're able to benchmark. I had this talk a year ago. How far have I come? For our alumni, how far have I come along this journey? And so we're really, really excited to see every one of you here. Yeah.
Oops, I was just drinking. So good to see you. Really excited about this morning. I didn't know Linda. What is Linda doing in Nanyuki?
I know, work probably.
Yeah, I thought she's a Nairobi girl. So good to see Pastor Emmanuel. So good. And just everyone who is in this season. I see Carol Onweno. That is just so fantastic. We know some of you who are signed up for this season, and we're really excited that we are able to just share about multiplying our income streams. I think the thing is that you cannot just survive on one income stream. You need to multiply. I really feel a lot of times that, especially for people who are employed, and especially if you earn a good income, that you're most at risk for just retiring with that one income. Fine, you may do some investments along the way, but retiring on just that one income. And that's a very risky thing, a very risky place to be, because if anything happens to your job, then it can leave you very vulnerable. So today, that's why we are talking about multiplying our income streams. We don't want to be vulnerable. Even if you're doing business, you may just have that one business income, but if you have something like now, for example, when we were in August, when we were, especially here in Kenya, doing our elections, we did not earn a single shilling from our guest house. And if that is what we were depending on, we would have been in a lot of trouble. So it's wisdom. It's wisdom to multiply your income streams just so that you can hedge your bets, and you're not left vulnerable. You're not left exposed when situations change.
Yeah. So we want to just dive right into it, and I'm going to just share something on the screen. Because it even tells you the bigger picture of why we're doing all this. Basically, those of you who've been around Couples and Money know that what our vision and our mission is. When we started Couples and Money, we really started to respond to a need. But with time, we began to understand what God wanted us to do, which is to have a community of financially free families that are passionately pursuing kingdom purpose together. So basically, what we want to see is couples on mission. We want to see Christian couples loving God and being able to achieve their dreams. It's one thing to want to change the world. It's one thing to want to make an impact. But you need resources to turn your what do you call it? Your concern into compassion. You can be concerned about poor children and they really break your heart, but you really can't do anything. That concern doesn't become compassion if you don't have resources. And so we want to see people understanding resources so they can master them, so they can change the world, because that's what God intends for every one of his children. And our vision is to raise 1,000 Kingdom Dollar millionaire couples by 2031 who are driving God's agenda for our society. We actually proud to say we already know a few who've come through Couples and Money, and who can testify that this also helped them align some things. So already the vision is coming to pass. We're already beginning to see people creating financial freedom, financial independence to drive God's agenda. So we're very proud of every single one of you who's doing the class this time. So I guess we've played cash flow, and many of your classes had a chance to play cash flow. I don't know what lessons you learned out of the cash flow event. And it would be fun to just ask, maybe I guess you're all on your screens. If somebody could just type something that came out for you, for those of you who've done it, what's one thing that stood out for you as a couple as you played cash flow? For those of you who are able to get a chance to play, cash flow is a powerful tool. It's not a game. It's really life, and it's how life operates. And one of the things I love about how we do it at Couples and Money is we play with couples as a team. And whenever you play cash flow, it's always fun to see how couples work. You know, it's a good self-assessment too, because all your insecurities, all the ways of your communication, all the things that, all the baggage, you bring it into the game. And you start to see, this one is risk averse, this one is a gambler, this one, you start to see all the risky ways that people operate. But also you start to see your strengths. You're able to see, oh my goodness, this is a strength. But the other thing I love is you play with others, which is always so amazing, because in life, I don't know many couples who play with others. Usually your financial issues are yours. But in cash flow, because we're not competing with each other, every couple has their journey, every profession is different. Really, you're cheering each other on and you're learning, and you shouldn't play cash flow in a hurry. You should actually play slowly. So you're able to actually ask, why did you guys make that decision? How come you are not agreeing? What was going on there? So we're learning from each other. And I know whenever we slow down our cash flow game for people to ask questions, we learned a lot more than when we're in a rush to finish. So I want to encourage you, plan another cash flow day, by the way. In fact, towards graduation or after graduation, plan another one, invite your friends. It's a great way to recruit people to do Couples and Money. But it's also a good way to just keep planning. Kara and I bought a game a long time ago. And I remember at one time of our life, we played it every week with our neighbors. We'd invite all our neighbors and we just play cash flow. It was a great way to reach out to people, form community, but also for us, it reformatted our minds and how we thought about money as we played it. So let's see, I don't know if any comments. Let's see if we can access those. Let's see, opportunities can pass you by if you don't have available resources. That's Carol.
That's so true.
Absolutely. Yeah, opportunities are always there. Even right now, as we're in this call, there are opportunities. But if you don't have the resources, you won't even know they're there. So opportunities are for the people who have the resources and who are resourced. And those resources are both financial, but also mental.
Yeah.
I learned not to be afraid to make big moves. Wow. Okay. Come on, Grace.
Yeah.
And then Carol says, big deals are available only for those that have generated necessary. It's true. There's some deals you will not enter with if you don't have right income.
So I think for us, our encouragement is to play over and over, because the more you play, the more it kind of sinks in. I think we bought this game many years ago, maybe 10 years ago or something like that. We played with our neighbors. We played with just about everybody. And every time we played, we learned something.
It's probably 18 years ago.
It's 18. I mean, it's just been a long time.
Keep noting what your lessons were from cash flow, because I think it's just great to see other people. You must generate passive income to get out of the rat race.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
This is such a powerful thing. If you want to be that person who's able, and getting out of the rat race is as simple as just being able to be in control of your time. You serve where you want. You serve where God is asking you, rather, because you have the capacity now to do that. When you don't have that, you think you have a big job, you think you have a big income, but you're not your own. Somebody else owns your time. Somebody else tells you what to do, when to do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then I can see. Got it.
The rat race is crowded, unlike the
The rat race is full. Everybody's competing for the scarce resources, the few jobs, the few opportunities in the rat race.
Yeah. The way to know you're a rat is when you celebrate your salary.
Oui. Ouch.
Yeah, I mean, you're so looking forward to
violence.
That. You're so looking forward to that salary. Hey, it tells you need to multiply your income streams.
Absolutely. All right. Yeah. So maybe we'll talk a bit about, just as we're still noting, we share this story about giving, because often we don't. There's a piece that we talk about in Couples and Money that people don't actually think is a big piece, but for us it's actually the foundation, because the foundational principle about money is who owns your money, and you're not the one who owns it. You're actually a steward of what the resources God gives us. So what Carol mentioned, our guest house. Those are actually a few old pictures of it. It looks a lot nicer now because everything's grown up. All the plants have grown up now. But why do we share this story? I think I like to share it because I feel it's very easy to think it all depends on you.
That's right.
But it doesn't, you know. Yeah. And we actually made a very big leap forward in our financial understanding through this story. So we had a time at Mavuno Church when we needed to ask the whole church to give towards moving to our property in Hill City, towards buying the 20 acres that Mavuno owns in Athi River. It was a whole lot of money. It was about 350 million shillings, $3.5 million. None of us knew how we'd ever achieve that kind of giving, but the only thing I knew is to ask people to give sacrificially and just trust God to multiply it. So God asked us to give a huge amount. At that time, it was $50,000, which is about 5 million shillings. We'd never given anything in that range. It was impossible, just one of those impossible amounts. And at that point, we both felt convicted that we need to give it, but we also need to tell the church we're giving it. And so we did. And it was just a faith builder for the church. But even for us, we had no clue where the money was coming from. But we really felt convicted that God said that we should give that amount. And because we did, we started giving. So we said, we can't wait for a miracle because we're the ones who've made the commitment. And so because we had been applying some of the things we learned in Couples and Money, which is about having an emergency fund, having savings. So the first month we gave out of our savings. And what we did is actually we gave our whole salary and we lived on saving. And we did that a second month. Again, it's a good thing that you're able to give 2 months, to not take a salary for 2 months and you're still eating. And by God's grace, we still were able to eat. And then the third month we did it again. But this time we knew that we were getting thin on our disposable income. And so we invited our kids into the conversation and told them things are going to be tough from this point because we are giving towards a commitment we made to church. And the kids were young enough that they didn't really ask questions. They went with the flow, and very happily. That's a beautiful thing about babies, young children, probably 7, 8, 10. And so they all said yes. We're willing to eat less meat and all such nice things. We'll eat beans and rice and for as long as it takes. And so we gave that third month's salary. And at that point, the miracle began. It was a very interesting miracle because the first thing that happened is somebody bought shopping for us anonymously. That was 3 months worth of groceries, the best brands. It was stuff that we could never have bought. Like we're not those high brand people. Us guys, we shop for what works for our budget. And so we had 3 months worth. It was full in our car until our car was it was low on the suspension. Like somebody had, like our tires were deflated. But somebody actually just borrowed our keys, somebody we didn't know, and then filled the car with groceries and took off before we could find out who did it. And that was the first sign to our kids, because our kids were in shock that God can actually provide that one. And then after that, we were so encouraged, but we knew that if we keep giving our month's salary, we were getting thin on savings. So we thought what we're going to do, we're going to sell an asset and just generate the money and give it to church, because I didn't want to owe God. For me, I'm that kind of person where if I make a commitment, I pay it. I want to pay it. And so I was like, I'm going to just pay off this amount because it felt like a debt. And so we had this piece of land, the piece of land on which that house stands. And we decided we're going to sell it. It's in a very nice area where it's easy to get a cash, a quick sale. We made a deal with somebody who really liked it, the owner of a hotel that was next door, and agreed that he'd give us the cash that was outstanding for us to finish off paying off that $50,000. The minute we made that, and I think, Carol, you always say you were very sad when we did that.
Oh yeah, it was a sad day because it felt like we were giving up our best asset. It was a place where we had dreamt. We had dreamt about putting up a house there. Maybe because it's in Athi River, it's near Daystar. Yeah. Maybe working in Daystar or volunteering our services in Daystar, and reaching out to the kids there. So it really felt like a loss of a dream. Yeah. It really was. Yeah. So we decided, but we have to do it because it's like this is the only way we're going to get this paid off quickly. When we finally talked to them, shook hands, the deal was signed. Again, the second phase of the miracle began, because we had a friend invite us
just called us out of the blues, and we were due for a break at that time. And the person said, "I'd like to pay for a holiday, all expenses paid for you and your family to come to the US." It was out of the blues. Nothing like that had ever happened in our lives. But this person actually just paid for tickets for all 5 of us, took us to Los Angeles, treated us like royalty. We got to see, we visited Disneyland we could go for as many days as we wanted. We went to Las Vegas, we went to Florida. It was just a first class lifestyle. It was 6 weeks of that.
And you were broke.
Yeah, we had no money in our,
Brooklyn.
this is when you've given everything.
Yeah.
And then after that, we came back, and another friend who had heard that we were going to the States was so excited about that. But he said, "You're going to be tired when you come back." So he said, if you come back, and he lives in New Zealand, he said, if you come to New Zealand, if you drop the kids once you get home and come to New Zealand, the 2 of you, we're going to actually pay for you. We come and preach for me for a weekend. And he said, once you preach, I will sponsor a holiday for you and your wife to rest from your holiday in the States. And so the 2 of us went. We left the kids with their grandparents. We went to New Zealand, preached, and then we had a all expenses holiday paid for 10 days in New Zealand and then 10 days in Australia as well. So 20 days of holiday. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
And we had no money, all
paid.
paid, holiday to detox a holiday.
Yeah.
And so we came back. I came back with a lot of urgency because I really felt like we owed that money. And I wanted to, because I was feeling like God had been so good to us that we needed to actually fast track getting that money and giving it to the church. And so we came back, and that night, the same night we landed, I remember reading an email from somebody in our church who didn't know us very well, but it was just somebody, that's the first time they'd ever written to me, or even had, I think, a personal conversation. And the person said, "Pasi, I've been praying for you. I just feel God is saying a few things that I hope are accurate. I don't know if they are, but this is what I sense God is saying to you." He says, "There's a piece of land God says you're trying to sell. And it's because you're trying to give towards Mavuno. You're trying to be an example towards the church as they give." And she went on to describe the motives that I had in doing it, which were very, nobody would have known that. And even the gift had not made it public. And she said, "God has heard, seen your sacrifice, and it's enough." And what she said is, "Don't worry, God will provide. This house, this place, the land you're planning to sell was actually not yours. It was given to you as a gift by God for your children's future." And
imagine that. I almost died.
It's like
God has our children.
Has your plan.
And their resources.
Anyway. And he said, "Yeah, you relax, and it's enough." I was so shocked. I didn't even tell my wife that night. I told her the next morning. She was shocked as well. It was just one of those, you can't even speak. But we went to the couple that we had signed the deal with. We were very sad because now we're like, "I'm so sorry, we have to break the deal." We really feel, you're telling somebody you're breaking a deal because God told you. You're feeling like they're going to look at you like, "Dude, so you just tell us you don't want to sell us the land." But we told them what we felt God was saying. And to our surprise, instead of being annoyed or being unhappy with us, they actually started laughing, and they said, God had actually revealed that to us, that this land is not for you to sell. But we said, let God himself show you that. And so they said, "No hard feelings. That land is yours." So we were very excited about that, and we could see that God had actually God had our backs. So I'll fast track the last part of this story by just saying something very miraculous happened. We found a piece of land. We had found a piece of land a long time before that we really loved. It's in a beautiful, beautiful area. Always had enjoyed that piece of land. We always felt it was something that somebody would buy and just look amazing. And my dad found the land found the owner of the land, because he's the kind of father, when he hears that you want something, he goes out of his way to find it for you. So he found the owner of the land, got the owner with us. The guy asked us to give our offer. We gave a ridiculous offer on that land. We ended up buying 6 acres of it making an offer for 6 acres. We had no money. And it was at a ridiculous price. The guy said yes, he had no problem. And so we ended up with 6 acres. In fact, it's my wife who made us say yes to that.
I was the more risky one on that venture.
Which is not usual.
How many did you want?
No, he asked us how many we wanted.
How many you wanted?
You said 10. You wanted 10, and I couldn't even, the words 10 couldn't come out of my mouth.
So you said 6.
So I said 6 without even knowing what I was saying.
Yeah.
And so basically, the long and short of it is he actually ended up selling. We got a few friends who came alongside us, and they offered us. They actually said, "Look, we're going to help you buy the land, and we'll give you full price for it." We know because we told them how much we're buying it for. They were like, "Don't worry, we'll give you full price for it." And what ended up happening is we ended up with enough money to pay off the land. Our friends ended up with 4 acres out of the 2. And then we ended up with a balance that allowed us to pay off completely the balance that we owed Mavuno. And so by the end of that conversation, we actually ended up having paid off completely Mavuno, everything we owed Mavuno, and we had 2 acres of prime land that we owned ourselves for nothing. Like the money from the land sale had actually gotten us that balance. Again, the big thing here
with zero down, by the way.
With zero, yeah.
Yes.
It's not about how much money you have in your hands. It's not about how brilliant you are. God can give you a divine idea that can become more useful and more important than anything else you've ever gone through. And I think we can say that actually our greatest, even now, the greatest part of our portfolio is actually from that one interaction.
Yeah.
Because what happened next, we took the money to church. God gave us a challenge to double that pledge. So we actually made a pledge to the church that we're going to give 10 million shillings. We made it public as well.
In addition to the 5.
And the last phase of the miracle began, because what happened now is our friends got together. They say, don't subdivide the land and give us plots. Let's do a beautiful community, gated community. And the gated community, we got a leading architect to design the houses. And so he designed some beautiful, beautiful houses, all with a view of the forest, because that piece of land is surrounded by forest. It's beautiful. It's hard to believe you're in the middle of a city. And so with the design, it meant that the value of the land went many times higher, more than 10 times what we had, what was even the full price when we bought it. And so we were able to then get that gated community together, the whole 6 acres, and start selling pieces of land out of that. And we were left with 1/4 acre after selling the rest of our 2 acres. And basically what that has meant is we were able to use that cash to build this house, the guest house that you can see in front of you. That's an 11-bedroom guest house. To build it
all
for
in
cash.
Suit. I mean, it's a big thing.
Yeah, it's out in Athi River. It's all in suit. We use it as a guest house, and it's one of our sources of income. And it's also a place for ministry. But we're able to build that. And in addition to that, we've also been able to, on our 1/4 acre that was left in the development, we're in the process right now of putting up, how many bedroom? It's a 5-bedroom, again, all in suit home that will be our home. And hopefully we'll be able to invite some of you over in April when we do our housewarming, because that will be when we're concluding that. Again, remember, with 0 in the bank, God was able to make this happen. So
I don't know if you've said that we built this for free and we're building our home for free.
Yes, we've not even added any of our money. It's just been the funds that come from those homes that we saw, from that land. Has come to be able to, and we were able to pay off the 10 million. Okay, I haven't even said that. So we were able to give $150,000 to Mavuno Church. And for me, the joy of being generous to God's work, the joy of seeing God almost say, you can't outgive me. And that's the thing I've come to understand about God, that you can't outgive God. And God giving us back many times more, because I believe that the value of this house you're seeing and what we're building will be many times even what we gave Mavuno Church. And so that's the power of giving. Thank you, Linda. That's actually the power of giving, and the power of understanding that your resources don't belong to you. Everything we're talking about in Couples and Money is fantastic to increase your financial intelligence, to increase your literacy, to increase your teamwork. But it has to be founded on the knowledge that both of us belong to a bigger cause, that we have a bigger cause. That's why we talked in week 4 about the purpose of your money. Why has God put you together? Why does he want to bless you with money as a couple? What does he want to impact? Who does he want to impact in this world because of you? And when you start to have those open hands of God, I want to be a blessing. I want you to bless us so that we can be a blessing. And not just wait for that day, but even start now being a blessing. That God actually is able to multiply what's in your hands because he does want you, even more than you want. He wants you to be a blessing to others.
Yeah. So maybe you can write on the chat just something that has resonated for you, something that you can say, my goodness, I have learned this just from this given story. And maybe it's something that you can apply, immediately. So just put that on the chat even as we continue. But for me, even as I listen to this story again, I just realized that creating wealth does not depend on us. And because a lot of times, even whether it's at our places of work, whether it is the businesses that we are doing, even this whole conversation of multiplying income streams, you can come over here and, just think that, at the end of this presentation, feel, I need to hustle more.
Yeah.
That is not the intention of this of our talk today. Our talk today, if you don't remember anything else, is that it does not depend on you. Your financial well-being does not depend on you. It's actually your faithfulness to obey God. I think that is, for me, at least as I listen to this over and over, that's one truth that really comes. So in other words, remove the pressure that it all depends on you.
And you know what? It should be fun. The journey of financial oneness should actually be fun. It shouldn't be stressful. It's not, we don't want you to become hustlers after doing couples and money. Just guys who are always, you don't even have time for each other because you're so busy making money. We want you to actually be able to enjoy the journey and to understand it's not all about you, that there's someone behind you who actually wants you to succeed even more than you want to succeed. Yeah. So that's D, you said the power of giving, and 2, you started with a guest house before your own house. That's actually in the Proverbs.
Yes.
About building your business before you build your house.
Yeah.
So that's very true.
And I think as you go to see your financial, a house is actually not an asset. And I hope that you learned that when you are playing cash flow. An asset is what brings you money, and a liability is what takes away money from you. So with a house, you can say that it's going to appreciate, but a lot of
save
times,
you rent maybe.
and save you rent. But a lot of times we are not, especially when we're thinking about our dream home, we're not thinking of renting it out. We're not thinking of ever selling it.
And then it's usually much more expensive than what the rent would pay off, what would pay for rent.
Yeah, because you've put in so many things,
Yeah.
So no, a home is not necessarily an asset. And so you build your assets first, and then your assets build your home.
Yeah. Okay, Benjamin says it's God's will. It's all God's. We need to just know and rely on Him and understand that. Understanding the purpose and the power of giving.
Yeah,
your purpose and the power of giving. Absolutely. And we hope this also motivates you as a couple to get excited about purpose. Because you can get excited about money and forget that foundational lesson of purpose. Those first lessons we learned in couples and money are very critical, even as we're getting into this next phase, where we're getting very practical about how to make money, how to multiply our income streams.
Yeah. So if God has given you a heart for reaching out to the poor, a heart for doing children's homes, or whatever social thing that He has given you, we would say just start wherever you are, because you never know what that is going to unlock for you. You may say, I don't have the money right now, but just start, take that step.
Take that one child and start paying their school fees. Yeah. Some of you, God is going to help you start businesses that are going to take people out of poverty. Some of you, your fellow villagers will not be poor because of you. You'll be that person who pulls a whole village out of poverty. Yeah. Some of you are going to start hospitals and children's homes. I mean, this is the power of being God's people, because we understand all money is His. Money is just a tool. It's not the thing where people of the world, they look for money so that they can put it in a vault and just sit on it. But that's not the plan for us as God's people. For us, money is it's a tool to purpose. That's what we have. That's what we're about. The resources you have are not yours. There's a bigger purpose for these resources. That's Martin. So awesome. So we want to just keep going then, even as we're still writing, and talk about your net worth. What's your net worth? You're always going to find that you calculate your liabilities. And when you see the financial advisors, they're going to actually take you through this process. For those of you who don't know about it, we actually provide free financial advising for people who do couples and money. And it's such a beautiful thing, because it's financial advising that will cost you money that many of us are not in that bracket. People in Kenya, if you look at people who get financial advising, it's very wealthy people. but we've been able to get that service for free for alumni of Couples and Money. And here's the crazy thing, by the way. I don't know whether you're always amazed. For me, the crazy thing is not everybody takes advantage of this service. I'm like, are you crazy? Like, and I always tell people, amateurs don't need coaches. Just reflect on that a bit, huh? While I connect my computer. Amateurs don't need coaches. It's only professionals who have coaches. Any sport, just look at it. Huh? If you're an amateur, you're just dabbling along. If you want to stay in the amateur leagues, then don't get financial advising.
In fact, you pay.
In fact, you pay for
You pay
to play. When you're an amateur, you pay to play. But when you're a professional, you actually are at the place where you're in the next level. And all professionals, whether it doesn't matter how good they are, they get a coach. We are providing coaching for all our alumni, and it's free. And we want to make sure, in fact, my prayer would be, this would be that one class where 100% of the people get financial advising. It's not about what, because the financial advisor is not there to tell you you're doing well. Because some people are like, oh, our finances are still not in a good shape. Let's get them good first, and then we can get someone to come and help us. And I'm like, but that's the whole point. You could actually be wasting a lot of time using methods that are ineffective, and somebody could just come in objectively from the outside and say, just do this and this, and you've sorted out your issues.
Yeah.
And we Kara and I,
also get.
and you had one of our coaches here, one of our network leaders, Grace, talk about the fact that her highlight last week was seeing their financial advisor. It's always a highlight for us when we go, because what we do is once you get the relationship, you can actually go and see them every 6 months or so, and you're able to actually see the progress you've made, and it also gives you some accountability in doing that. And it's always a highlight for us to be able to see, oh wow, we had this problem. Now we don't, we've been able to accelerate.
But I think we've always had advisors.
Yep.
We've always had advisors. We cannot say we've made it without advisors.
But Couples and Money now gave us
everyone
the
that
next level.
Yeah.
So your net worth will always be your assets minus your liabilities. And assets, as Pastor Kara said, things that put money in your pocket, things that are appreciating, things that are making you wealthier. Liabilities are things that are taking money out of your pocket. And some of those lifestyle things can actually be liabilities. A home can be a liability if it's not well thought through. Many times our cars are liabilities because we don't think through them well. Yeah, because they take money out of our pocket, but there's no commensurate value that they're adding. So your net worth is calculated by all the things that fit in your liability column versus all the things that fit in your asset column. And then when you subtract assets minus liabilities, you get your net worth. And there's actually a calculator that tells you what your net worth should be. So I want you to note this calculator down. Did we give guys the sheet for calculating net worth? Not yet.
I know it's going to be there at the end season retreat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll give you a sheet to calculate it.
Yeah.
But I thought it's given now. I think it should be sent now.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. It's okay. We'll send it out. Pastors will send it out to every participant. So you're able to calculate your net worth, and then take note of this net worth indicator. As a couple, your net worth should be in the range of. This is the range that people tell us. People in finance who are looking at it and saying, okay, if you're doing well, you take your average age. So if one of you is 32, the other one is 30, your average age is 31. And then you multiply it times your annual income. So you take what she earns times 12, take what per month times 12, take what he earns times 12 per month. And then now multiply those two, average age times annual income, and then divide by 10.
So it's both of you, so that each of you doing this, but average age.
Annual income together, and then divide by 10. That number will give you a benchmark so that when you now calculate your net worth, you're able to see, wow, we are so far ahead of where we should be. And that's not even a bad thing, by the way. Don't even get complacent when you see that. But it tells you we're not doing badly compared to the benchmark, to where our peers are. Or you might look at it and say, okay, we're just about where many people our age are. Or you might actually look at it and say, oh my goodness, we have quite a bit of work to do. And don't be scared of that, because again, that's what the advisors are there for. Most of your peers don't have financial advisors. So we're almost guaranteed that you will advance beyond your peers because you get the help that we're going to give you at Couples and Money. And so your average age times annual income divide by 10. So just write that down, note it out. We should have actually sent you the document, so by now you'd have been able to calculate. But it's okay. Once you get the sheet, fill it out as a couple. Make that one of your money dates.
Yeah.
Even as we're talking about creating income, because we'll be talking about that.
Yeah.
And then be able to calculate and see how well are we doing? Should we be alarmed? Should we be rejoicing? Yeah. All right. And
okay. So, and be sure to come with that for graduation.
yes.
Yeah.
When we do our graduation, we will have our financial advisors. And we've been getting a lot of what do we mean? What do we call it? We've been getting a lot of requests. When we started Couples and Money, we did on-site or live graduations.
Yeah.
We haven't been able to do a live graduation for a long time because of COVID, but the demand has been there every season. And so we wanted to actually try it for you guys. That this will be the first live graduation since 2019.
Yeah.
And so your class is really, I mean, so
2022.
So August, it's going to be August, November, December.
26th.
Okay.
But is it 25th? Oh my goodness.
November 25th, November 26th. It's that weekend. It's a Saturday. We'll send you all the details. But those of you who are not able to travel to Nairobi will still have a virtual link, but we want to actually do a physical gathering together for us as a graduating class, build community, but also have the financial advisors there live.
On site. Yeah.
And so come get that document, fill it out, start doing your calculations, because the more prepared you are for the conversation, even the better for you.
Yeah.
So I love it. Yeah, very, very cool. How to increase your net worth. This is very cool. How to increase your net worth. Very simple. Decrease your liabilities. So you decrease the things that are taking money out of your pocket, increase your assets. So how do you decrease liabilities? And we've seen this over and over at Couples and Money. Scale down your expenses, pay off your debt. Yeah. If you're in the place where you've just got debt and it's weighing you down, you just have to become focused, gazelle focused, and get that debt out of your way.
Yeah.
And also scale down expenses. Maybe you're living life to impress people who you don't even care for. And that's what many of us do. You end up with peers that you're trying to impress, having birthday parties you really shouldn't be having.
In places you shouldn't be having.
Joining membership of clubs you really can't afford. And living in homes that are in estates that are too expensive for you. Because you like the lifestyle. And many of us, we slide from our parents' lifestyle into the lifestyle we're currently in. We just kind of feel, I belong in this lifestyle intrinsically. And you know what? It's humility to actually say, I'll get here. But this is not where I start life with. And being able to say, we're going to I've seen people even in Kenya moving out of Nairobi, going to another city, working virtually, and being able to say, at least here we can afford a lifestyle. We have a lifestyle here that we can afford. Everything is cheaper because we're away from the expensive places.
Yeah, so decreased lifestyle. And I think Couples and Money is the only place where we celebrate you when you sell off your car or downgrade your housing. And I think even the purpose for the groups that you have been in, it's to just help us work through some of these things because they are very countercultural. Decreasing your liabilities or downscaling your expenses. Sometimes we just need a community around us that just keeps, urging us on. And so that's the reason why you're in those groups, to continue these conversations even after you graduate from your class.
Wow. Yep, that's exactly what it is. So we celebrate everybody who makes a radical decision to reduce their lifestyle for the sake of a bigger goal. And by the way, you live like no one today so that you can live like no one else tomorrow. Yeah. And that's what we've discovered as our lifestyle. I think we're at the age where now we're beginning to experience a lifestyle lift that we haven't sweated for. We haven't lost time in our marriage. I mean, we haven't abandoned our kids for, we haven't neglected our marriage for, we haven't hustled for, simply because we started making those decisions early. We're able to downscale, live even below our peers in those early days, so that we were able to accumulate enough resource to invest. Yeah. And then you just find all of a sudden you're beginning to catch up. And it's not because you're working hard. People have messed their health, messed their marriages, messed to get to where they are. And you find you're getting there with grace, without sorrow. And that's really our desire for every couple here. Okay. Number two, you need to increase your assets. Yeah. You need to increase the things that put money in your pocket. And that's really where multiplying income streams comes in. So multiplying income streams is biblical. The Bible says, divide your investments among many places, for you don't know what risks lie ahead. I think that's what you were saying about earlier. Yeah. We don't know what risks are coming. Nobody saw COVID coming. Prophets didn't talk about the Ukraine war.
No one actually talked about
there are many things that God doesn't show even his people.
Yeah.
they come. All we know is that a crisis will always come. It's cyclical. There's always crisis that comes. So how do you plan ahead? Because you don't know what risks lie ahead. And Ecclesiastes 11 says, divide it into many places. In fact, 11:3 says, 11:1, Ecclesiastes 11:1 says, divide your investments into 7 or 8 streams. That's really what it says. Cast your bread over the waters. It says, divide it into 7, even into 8 streams. And for us, we believe that, every couple should actually be able to multiply their income streams. Here's some income streams. I want you to assess yourself right now as a couple as you're looking at that screen. And for those of you who've done this talk before, maybe to be able to say, what have we done to increase this?
Which one have we added?
The beautiful thing about what Jimmy and Edith were telling us earlier is every time, you're facilitating, you're able to actually get accountability to push and to be able to say, hey, okay, here we haven't worked as hard as we should, or we haven't been as focused as we should. Where are we gaining income from right now? So earned income is your job. You're getting your salary. And if for those of you who have a salary, amen, that's awesome. Somebody pays you every month for working for them. Thank you so much, Godwin. It says, send your grain across the seas, profits will flow back to you, but divide your investments among many places. You don't know what risks lie ahead. I think it's 3 that talks about the 7 or 8 places that you should put your income. And profit income is buying and selling. Mm-hmm. So you get something. In Kenya, we call it, well, that's business really, isn't it? Mm-hmm. That's business income. Mm-hmm. You get something, you add value to it, manufacture or add value, and then sell it at a profit. Yeah. Or even just take it from a place of high demand, take it to a place of low demand, and take it to a place of high demand, and you make a profit. Mm-hmm. So you add value to a product and sell it, and that's business income. Mm-hmm. Interest income is lending money. So when I put money in a mutual fund or a money market fund, and they pay me back 10% every month, that's called interest income. They're paying. I'm the one lending them. When I buy a treasury bond or bill from our government or a corporate bond, I'm lending them money, and then they pay me every month. At Couples and Money, when you get your financial advising, we actually show you how to enter into that place where you become a lender as opposed to being a borrower. Dividend income is owning stocks. This is when you own a share in a company. It could be on the stock exchange. It could be somebody's business you've invested in. But then every so often, when the business makes a profit, it divides it among the shareholders, and you get income from that. Yeah. From a dividend. Rental income is you own a home, you own a property, you own a piece of land. People lease it or rent it, and then they pay you regularly for it. And that's a great place to earn income from. Many times, if it's well managed, it can end up being very passive. It can be a really good source of passive income. Capital gains, this is when your assets increase in value. This could be the shares you bought, they've gone high and you can sell them at that level. It could be that you bought a piece of land and you subdivided it, you got your profit income, but then there's also capital gains because now you bought the land for this for that coin. So just look at them and just be able to indicate, maybe if you're with your spouse, you can look at which are the ones we're earning from and which are the ones we maybe should think about earning from. Maybe they're not so far away.
And if you're a facilitator, this is a good thing to say, okay, so which one have we increased? Yeah. I know the Nzolas are here. I saw Jemima. And Jemima, just say which one you have increased since going for financial advising. If Jemima is still on the call, you can put it on the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, facilitators, if you're able to write one that you've seen that you've been able to increase since Couples and Money, that would be awesome.
For going for financial advising.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know, Godwin, you've been able to increase, you now have royalties, although I don't know how focused you are on increasing your sales.
It's a very nice book. In fact, you should put it in the school because it's addressing millennials, Gen Z. And for parents over here who have kids in that age bracket, it's a helpful book. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So where are you seeing where is your income from right now? where are you seeing it increasing? For those of you who've been doing this long enough. And I think I'm very happy for those who are doing this talk the second time or the third time, because this becomes your benchmark talk. Every time we do this talk, it's your benchmark talk where you're able to say, oh my goodness, look, we've been able to increase here. Now for Cara and I, we have income in all these segments. Every one of these segments. Let's see, except for what? Pretty much everyone. Yeah.
We have.
Yeah. Pretty much everyone. Maybe a bit less on dividend income right now from owning stocks.
Yeah.
We've divested a lot of our stocks, but almost everything else, we have income in that segment. Yeah. So again, the idea of multiplying your income. We've increased interest income and royalties. That's got insane. They've been able to invest money in shares, in bonds or whatever interest income. They've lent their money to others who are paying them, and then they have royalties.
Someone else's interest and dividend.
Awesome.
They have done that. I think for themselves, they after I think she may have dropped off. After going for financial advising, they realized that they had what is called idle land, and so they decided to sweat that asset. And so So
right now they're getting profit income because they're farming.
They are farming. Yeah.
So they're getting profit. Out of
very
that.
Impressive. Yeah. Which they wouldn't have done were it not for Couples and Money.
And some businesses give you more than money because they get fresh food that they grew themselves and they know it's safe food.
Yeah.
So there's that as well, because it's replacing the food they'd be buying from sources they're not sure of.
Yeah. And for some of you who, I remember we invested a lot in interest income, dividends, owning stocks. And that was at the time when we did not have like that much money to, we needed to basically grow our income. We were a younger couple. And so we put in a lot of our money in stocks. And what stocks do is that if you get a good stock, then you multiply, it gets multiplied and it continues to grow. And from those stocks, then we were able to divest and actually now put money in rental income. Bought an apartment. Bought two apartments for free. For cash. Because we had really invested a lot in that dividend income. So sometimes someone may feel, I want to get rental income. That's what everybody's doing. Let me borrow so that I can get this rental income. But I think in Couples and Money, you have seen that we are really loan averse. There are other ways entering, especially if you don't have that a lot of margin. This dividend income, putting your money in stocks and so on, your financial advisor is actually going to show you. Even if you have as little as 5K per month, they'll be able to show you where to put it so that you're still able to earn some good money.
So Jimmy and Edith say earned income, profit income, interest income, dividend income, and increase in the last three since Couples and Money. Awesome.
So good.
Yeah. Linda says we've increased interest income, working towards increasing rental income and aspiring to be published authors someday. Oh, come on, Linda. But then you need to do, what is it called? Bootcamp, the Mavuno Bootcamp, Leadership Bootcamp, because it will help you be a published author by this time next year.
Yeah. So then you'll be able to say they are author.
You can get your royalties, and I know you'll be able to make. But the royalties are fantastic. If you manage your royalties well, we make more on royalties than even some of our rental houses.
It's really that, than some of our rentals.
Yeah, we've made a lot. Royalties has been one of our biggest income earners over the years.
Sorry to put Jemima on the spot each time, but she also earns from royalties. She came to bootcamp, the Mavuno Bootcamp,
and has a book.
Wrote a book, and she's earning royalties.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So I hope you're assessing yourself as we're talking. I hope you're looking at you're not just listening and taking notes, because we wanted this to be sort of like a workshopping space. So please, facilitators, write where you're earning right now, and what if there's been any increase. I'm assuming the ones who are not writing, it's because they're like, oh my gosh, I need to do my homework. I still have work to do. But if you're able to put that would be fantastic. It's just a way of inspiring everybody else to see that there's progress just because of you being in the class. I know Grace, I don't know if she's still there, but she had talked about some of the financial advice they're getting. So it'll be fun to see what are they earning from that they were not earning from today. So these are the 7 of the income streams, and each of these is not like Carol says. There's some that are entry level where you're able to do it with very little resource. And if we're to look at that, we'd actually say that this is something that my wife had put together. Businesses you can invest in for less than $5.
Yeah.
And so you can actually be a tax consultant, or a consultant. Grace actually asked that, where does consultancy income fall? I've added 2 different consultant lines. And I love that, Grace Kahura. Awesome. So that consultancy would actually be, what would you call it?
I think it's earned.
There's a bit of earned there because a lot of it usually depends on your work. So it can be a bit of a self-employment space where you're getting earned income. It will become business income when other people are working in your consultancy for you. Then it can become profit income. But at the initial stages, when it's your energy, your labor, your sweat, then it's earned income in a sense. But congratulations, that's great to hear that, Grace. So that's the first one Carol wrote. Being a consultant, many times you start with nothing and you're able to actually say to somebody, by the way, I've done this. And don't think consultant is a very big term. It just means you advise people on where to make money. Sometimes you can actually you have an expertise and you know people who are landowners in your shags and who in a place where people want to buy land. And you're able to actually be the guy who actually goes and negotiates for people to get good land because you know the villagers and they trust you. You can actually become that person you consult, you're helping people. You're basically going in because I've done accounting. I work for a company in this area, but I can actually help small businesses to put up their systems. So there's so many places you can actually do that. Social media. I'm savvy in social media. I can go and tell somebody, hey, I can increase the likes in your business. I can increase the followers of your business by this much. Take a small online course and be able to help people do that. Tuition teacher. We've done tuition, by the way, back in the day. Baking cakes or fast foods, we've done that as well. Are you writing the things we've done? Become personal organizer, personal financial consultant, interior designer, turn your passion into profit. So again, there are passions you have, there are things that you're really good at that you can just figure out, how do I begin to turn it into profit? We've done that. Remember our media business started because I had a passion for using video. Renting out your car, that one we definitely haven't done. But actually, the time we had set up a business to rent a car, we even called it Carol's something. Can you remember?
No, I don't remember.
We did the business plan, we did everything, but then we decided not to do it.
Remember.
But I know people who are making money doing, somebody said Carol's. It wasn't called that. Renting a car is instead of your car sitting outside your office.
You can rent it out if you have a good person.
I know people who've done boda-bodas. And been able to actually make money from that. In fact, after Couples and Money.
And there are people who are good. Like now, for example, we do know the guy who has been doing taxi business for Mavuno. He is such a good guy. He's the kind of guy who can take your car. And he's well established. He has many cars and he's able to even show you how to do that. So in your networks, imagine you'd be able to do some of these things, find out who is a good person who I'm able to give my car to. So during the day, while I'm in the office, it's earning for me some money. Or
I have a nice car and it can be rentable. And when somebody wants it, I just take the matatu. I take public transport until I've been paid. That week when the car is out, it's making me a lot more money than I'm using to. It's worth the inconvenience because it's making me some significant money. So I guess there are ways to do this if you really are starting out. Repair consulting, getting a team of artisans, that's really organizing people, then giving a service. Buying and selling goods on consignment. That's one that I've seen a lot of people do. They go to the markets where middle class people are not willing to go, and they are actually able to get all the deals and then put up a store where you own nothing. Online is amazing because it allows you to put up a shop when you own nothing. And you're able to actually go, when somebody orders, you go pick what they need and deliver it. And those are just easy ways to start something. Well, not easy. It's never easy, but they're ways to start something if you have nothing. Value addition. Again, these are things we've done as well.
You don't need to own the cow. You can just buy milk, convert to yogurt.
Exactly.
You don't need to own the farm to make the.
We have a business right now where we do herbal supplements. You've seen us advertise it in the Soko. For those of you who are in the Soko, we don't own moringa trees. We don't own neem trees. We get that from farmers, but we're able to add value to it and make. Well, our kids run that business. They at least it sorts out their costs. And that's a good way to also teach them how to make money. We'll be talking about how to teach your kids about money in a little bit in the course. So these are just some ideas that you can make. So one of the things we talked about, because our vision is to help you become financially free, pursuing God's kingdom purpose together, and to raise 1,000 kingdom dollar millionaires. We want to just say that that's why we're teaching this. Our whole purpose in teaching you about money is this. It's not just so we can sell you a course. We actually want to get you into a group of people who think differently. And there's a 3-step process we consider Couples and Money leads us into. Number 1 is mindset transformation, that we grow wisdom. Number 2 is growing the community. We grow people. And number 3 is creating the infrastructure. We grow wealth. I want to just give credit right now and say for Jimmy and Edith, they know this. Their dad, Edith's dad is our mentor, Bishop Masika. And we learned this model from watching what he does. So the first thing is mindset transformation, helping you think differently. Proverbs 3:14, profit gained from wisdom is greater than profit gained from silver. The profit you're gaining from the wisdom you're learning in Couples and Money will be better than any promotion, will be just better than somebody giving you money. And we want to change your mindset so you think differently about money and you think about it together. But after that, we want to invite you into a community. Couples and Money is not just a course, it's an invitation into a wider community. Right now, we're heading towards 600 couples who've taken this course. And we desire to network them. We desire to help them work together. We desire to grow them together. And if you see some of the people who are facilitating, it's because they've seen themselves as people who help the community to grow. And in fact, we want to invite all of you to consider being facilitators. Because when you facilitate, what happens? You help other people to grow. You increase the community. You increase your networks. But in addition to that, you also increase your knowledge, because it's always that place where you're able to evaluate and to keep asking, are we in that place where we're supposed to be? So it becomes like a benchmark for you every year as you're helping others. And there's some of you who are here who've been facilitating for the last 3 years because you've seen how valuable it is to be a blessing to others. So we grow people. And then we create infrastructure to grow wealth, because we don't just want to give you ideas, we actually want to give you opportunities, to fashion opportunities. The power of being together is we can work together to create opportunities for one another. And so these are some of the products that we've talked about that we're working on. Right now, we've actually built some of them. When you talk to the financial advisors, you'll be able to see that we've actually got what we call the Identica funds. And the funds are actually places where you can invest for a certain level of interest that you'll be hard pressed to find in the market. Because we're working with professionals. We're not the professionals. We're really just the advisors. But we've got professionals who come in and help us to actually pool our resources and grow capital, grow wealth as a couple. We have our Soko, and I think it's usually after this class that we invite you to join our Soko. So we have what we call the WhatsApp Soko. Every Wednesday and every Saturday, people are able to put their goods, because the idea is we want to buy Couples and Money and promote Couples and Money. And we encourage people in the community to buy products from one another. We've been blessed by sampling and actually buying products from them. There's some people here with their regular customers. Every week when they post, we try and promote each other and build each other's businesses. So that's another way that we do it, with the whole idea that we want you to prosper, because when you prosper, we all prosper. You know, if you're rich, you can buy my products. If I'm wealthy, I can buy your products, and we can help each other grow. And some of these other ones, we're in the process of putting together the insurance products we're working on right now. We're talking about
business training.
Business training. Actually, that's now online. We've been able to negotiate, and actually not negotiate. We've been able to seal a deal, just like we have the deal with the financial professionals. The farm we work with is called Moran. Capital Finance Advisors. And then we also have now
Business.
a business consultancy that we're working with. It's called Synapis. Some of you have heard of Synapis, and they're very like-minded. And so we're in the process now where we're getting tailored products that will help anyone in business in Couples and Money to scale up their business. Because we want you to actually grow your wealth through your business. Some of you have a really nice idea, but you need the help to take it from just ideation, conception, to actually becoming a viable idea. Some of you already have a viable business that's making money, but now you want to scale it so it becomes multinational. It's able to do bigger things. And we're working with them to get some concessionary advising and workshops, including, I think, for the alumni, for the first time. This is going to be fun for the coaches to know and the facilitators. For the first time, we're actually going to do a business workshop during the graduation.
Yes.
While the graduates are going through their graduation and going through financial advising, all the alumni who've already done the financial advising class will be doing a business class at the same time. And it's going to be we're really looking forward to that. And it's going to be a free business class for people who are alumni of Couples and Money. So our hope is, just by being many of us, we're able to get some of these products that help all of us to move forward. Yeah,
I'm really excited. That for the graduation, we're going to have financial advisory services, plus there'll be a business seminar for those amongst us who are in business. So I think it's going to be amazing. I think I'm excited when we begin to see these things, the infrastructure beginning to take shape. I mean, I'm really just excited about that.
As we talk about multiplying your income streams, one of the things that we talk about for facilitators, one of the reasons we want you to all become facilitators is because as a Couples and Money facilitator, you don't just become among the $1,000 millionaires, but you become a part of a team of passionate freedom fighters to usher in financial freedom for many. Many other couples will be blessed. Many other families will be blessed because of you. And so just very briefly, okay, some of these are things that we're just talking about, so I won't take too long with that. We call it the Edenica community. When you hear the word Edenica, and you'll wonder why not Couples and Money, it's because we believe that Couples and Money is just one product. There are others that some of you are even going to create under this umbrella. Right now, the biggest, we've had a lot of demand for singles and money and teens and money. So we're working on those products. But the Edenica means a delightful region or residence. And so that's really that's why we call ourselves the Edenica community, that encompasses all that we're doing. The Edenica Institute is what houses Couples and Money and all the other courses, knowledge acquisition, mindset transformation. Investment advisory is the Edenica Fund. We're really talking about that just now. And we want every one of you to consider investing with that fund. But definitely, whether you invest with it or not, get the free financial advising that comes with it. Business development is what we're just talking about now. We're getting into business development. It's something that we're just now jumping into. And then there's community impact, because our hope is that we can actually also start a foundation where we're able to pull together and make a difference in areas that are of common interest for the community that we are. So Persis has just put a link. If you want to join the SOCO, the WhatsApp SOCO that's even ongoing, you can actually click on that. It will take you to WhatsApp. And you're able to just immediately become part of our trading community. So, let me move that. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, join the community. Let's grow wisdom together. Let's be, as you're part of the community, as we're trading together, as we're exchanging wisdom, as we're growing our businesses, learning to grow our businesses, join the community. Don't just graduate from the class and then move on to the next thing. We want to make sure that what you learn now becomes a lifestyle for life. And so join the community, facilitate a class. We'd love for you as a couple to say, who are the 5 friends that we know would really benefit from this course? And can we even start having a chat with them, sharing our testimony with them and saying, we'd love to do a class one, would love to help put together a class when we're done. This has changed our lives. We think it can change yours. So facilitate a class and then engage in the investment opportunities. The picture I always draw for our graduates is I always say, I see us in the next 7-8 years on a cruise with some serious millionaires who have taken this course and have grown their wealth, and will be, I don't know why I always think of the Mediterranean. It could be somewhere else. I don't know. I think I like the Mediterranean because I always think of us stopping off a big cruise ship. We stop off in Italy, and then a whole bunch of Africans come out with cameras. You know how you see in Mombasa, these Japanese tourists, or you just see a bunch of Africans with cameras coming out to capture the local people and what they're doing. Go to a children's home, we do some benevolent stuff, we get on the ship and we now go to Sicily. I have this picture of just people who have the wealth to be able to do significant good together and also enjoy life together. And that's the picture that I want to invite you into. I want to invite you into this vision and say, come, let's grow wealth together, let's grow our community together, and let's get other people out of this debt slavery that as Africans we sort of assumed is our lot. It's not our lot. We can actually become a donor community and not just a recipient community. So this is about the couples, the kind of couples you want to invite as you're thinking about your 5 couples. Think of people who are healthy, because if a couple is about to divorce, Couples and Money may not be where you're putting them in, although there are couples who've taken it.
Yeah,
but Ndoa, we've got another course called Ndoa for couples who really need a foundation. But there are couples who, at least you can tell, they have a marriage that's functioning. They have a passion to help others. They're eager to multiply, and they enjoy friendships. You're looking for couples that enjoy friendships. And as you call them in, Couples and Money also, because we don't just make it, we want it to be an income stream for you. And so when you recruit 5 couples, every couple has the opportunity. What we do with the money you paid, it doesn't all go to Couples and Money. It's actually shared out with our community. So as facilitators, when a facilitator has 5 couples, they earn money from those couples. Part of the money that the couple pays actually is distributed to the facilitator. And then we have a coach. The coach helps oversee facilitators, and they coach those facilitators. And they also earn something from every couple that those couples, so a smaller distribution goes towards the coach, but it's many more couples because they're overseeing 5 groups. And then the network leader is a person who oversees, we call them our business leaders. And they oversee a lot more couples because they're overseeing all the coaches in their network. And these are the potential of the kind of resources they have to earn every season. We've kind of worked it out so that it's distributed. The resources are distributed every year. And basically what we're talking about then is being able to earn that kind of money. Now, for those people who have big salaries, when you think of 40,000 a month, it sounds so little. But I always like to say with Carol, if you bought a house that was giving you 40,000 shillings a month, Kenya shillings a month, that would be, that's $400, huh? You'd be, no, not 7 million. You'd probably be paying like 10 million shillings to be able to get that kind of income. And so we're really saying that there's an opportunity for you to earn income that is at the range of actually owning a house just by doing this. Of course, by year 2, when you're a network leader, it's a lot more than that. So critical date, last slide. November 26th, we have our graduation and what we call the Millionaires Bootcamp. It's a live event, so it's not just a graduation ceremony, but we get you into a boot camp. The boot camp is where you actually start learning about financial advising. And so it's going to be a whole morning. I think it starts from 8, goes till 1. And we're going to have our financial advising team is going to come. It's going to be live in Athi River at the Mavuno Hill City headquarters. We've been able to get a place where we can actually just do it there. But it will be a specific Couples and Money event. And so it will be for the graduates. And we're also going to invite alumni because we're going to do the business forum in another space. And so that's when that is happening. And then Jan 2023, we start our January cohorts. Yeah. So that's it. Yeah.
We'll also be having a live SOCO. So for especially the alumni and facilitators, we will be communicating about that SOCO so that you can come and sell your wares. I think it will be very exciting. Absolutely. So that's it. This is multiplying your income streams, guys. Let's make money, but let's also understand that this money is never going to be our it's not going to rule our homes. It's not going to control us. It's always going to be a tool towards God's purpose. That's really our prayer for all of us. Now, we want to conclude in prayer and just pray for the couples here. I don't know if there are any questions or comments before we pray and conclude this talk. Thank you so much. I hope your classes have been fun. I hope you've really enjoyed the experience that you're going through. I hope you've made good friends. If you haven't played Cash Flow, I hope you're going to be playing it soon.
And I'm sure you're going to be playing it soon and just growing and learning together. Maybe even you're able to organize a couple more cash flow sessions before the class is over. That's fine as well. But we really I encourage that every single one of you is going through this. So I don't see any questions. And if there are none, then probably what I'll do is hand over to Pastor Carol to close for us.
Okay. So thank you so much, everyone. Let's just pray. Father, we're truly thankful for this day. Thank you for the fact that money is your idea. We thank you that even when we talk about providing for ourselves, providing for our families, you have not left us alone. You have told us that you are a provider. And even the ways that you have asked us to engage with you, they are not the ways of this world. And we're just asking, Father, for the courage to be generous, give us the courage to even do our tithes and our offerings, because that is the way that you have said that that you provide for us. So Lord, as we go for the weekend, we ask that you give us rest, a lot of rest. There are people who have events. We're asking for your safety, even as we engage with these events. And we're asking, Father, just for an amazing time of our classes, even as we are winding down the season. So, Father, we thank you and we bless you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Simon, Pastor Carol.
See you guys at the graduation. Yeah.
Thank you.
Amen. Thank you so much.
Financial incompatibility is the leading cause of divorce and separation worldwide. Why is it that so many of us have bought into the lie that it is normal to be financially incompatible?
We have encountered so many couples who have come up with questions for us. Questions like, should we have a joint account? What do we do with the spouse who's a hoarder and is, has held on to the money and is refusing to let go?
Or the spouse who's a spender and just wants to splurge whenever they make the money. What do you do when the husband earns a lot less than the wife? And we're talking about African husbands, sometimes can be very threatening situation.
Yeah, that can be. And as we reflected on the questions that we were receiving from all these couples, we realized that we have been blessed, honestly, to have had mentors who are older than us, who helped us understand how to manage our money together and even how to grow our money together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's why we came up with Couples and Money. It's a 10-week online masterclass that helps you develop financial compatibility, financial oneness. It's going to teach you how to make money as a couple, but it's also going to teach you to have common values so that when you make money, money does not divide you, but actually draws you closer together. And we've seen couples change. We've seen people understand how to grow resource together. We've seen couples understand how to have safe money conversations, and that's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
We've seen couples being able to do great things that they only dreamt about being able to do previously.
So if this sounds intriguing to you in any way, then we invite you to come to this mentoring program where you will be mentored together with your spouse on how to manage your finances together. So we encourage you, sign up for Couples and Money.
See you there.